Some of the foods you trust to protect your heart may be stressing it every single day, and after 60, your body pays for those mistakes faster than it used to. If you want to stay healthy and independent as you age, hit that subscribe button right now. We share simple, science-backed health tips like this every single day. Here's the thing. When heart doctors and diet experts look at what older adults eat, they keep seeing the same pattern. The danger is not always fried food or candy. Sometimes it is the food with the healthy label on the box, the one that says low-fat, whole grain, plant-based, or made with fruit. Today I'm going to show you exactly what that means and how to protect your heart without making your meals confusing. Now, before we continue, tell me your age and where you're watching from in the comments. This helps us understand who we're helping. Here's what most people get wrong. They think heart healthy means low fat, low calorie, or made from plants. But your heart does not read the front of the package. Your heart responds to what is actually inside the food. The sugar, the sodium, which is salt, the refined starch, the additives, the way that food hits your blood sugar and blood pressure. Look, a food can wear a healthy costume and still cause trouble. A 2024 study led by Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that people with the highest intake of ultra-processed foods had an 11% higher risk of cardiovascular disease and a 16% higher risk of coronary heart disease, which means disease in the arteries that feed your heart. That is a big deal, especially if you are already dealing with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or prediabetes. And sugar is not just about weight. A 2023 study from Oxford Population Health found that for every 5% increase in calories from free sugars, the risk of cardiovascular disease went up 7%, heart disease went up 6%, and stroke went up 10%. Free sugars means sugars added to foods, plus sugars in things like fruit juice and honey. So no, the body does not always treat a sweet drink like a fresh apple. I know the title says 3 foods, and I'm going to give you those. But first, I need to show you 2 hidden traps, because if you miss these, the top 3 will keep sneaking back onto your plate. Number 5, instant flavored oatmeal packets. Most people think oatmeal is always good for the heart, and plain oats usually are. But actually, those little flavored packets can act very differently in your body. Why? Because the more processed the oat, the faster it can hit your blood sugar, and many packets also come with added sugar and sodium. Think of it like firewood. A thick log burns slowly. Dry paper burns fast. Steel-cut oats are the log. Instant flavored oats are much closer to the paper. They break down faster. Your blood sugar rises faster. Your insulin rises faster too. Insulin is the hormone that moves sugar out of your blood. Too many sharp spikes over time can make your body work harder than it should. A 2021 review from Georgia State University highlighted a 2019 trial showing that steel-cut oats caused the lowest rise in blood sugar and insulin, while instant oats acted much more like refined cereal. That matters after 60 because your body usually handles sugar swings less smoothly than it did at 30. So what do? First, stop assuming all oatmeal is the same. Read the label. If one packet has 10 to 15 grams of added sugar, that is not a health food shortcut. That is dessert pretending to be breakfast. Look for plain oats with 0 added sugar. Old-fashioned oats are a good step. Steel-cut oats are even slower on the system. If you want a simple breakfast, use half a cup of dry old-fashioned oats or steel-cut oats. Cook them in water or unsweetened milk. Then add half a cup of berries, 1 tablespoon of chopped walnuts, and a dash of cinnamon. That gives you fiber, which slows digestion, and healthy fat, which helps you stay full. If you need more protein, stir in 2 tablespoons of plain Greek yogurt after cooking. And if you absolutely need a packet for convenience, choose one with at least 4 grams of fiber, no more than 5 grams of added sugar, and under 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. Not perfect, but much better. But wait until you see number 4, because this next one fools people even faster. Number 4, bottled fruit juice and green smoothies. Most people think if it says fruit, vegetable, antioxidant, or cold-pressed, it must be helping the heart. But actually, many bottled juices and smoothies are sugar delivery systems with a health halo. They may contain vitamins, yes, but they often remove the fiber that slows sugar down. Let me be clear. Fiber is your body's speed bump. When fiber is gone, sugar rushes through like cars on an empty highway. That can raise blood sugar quickly, and over time it can add stress to your heart, your blood vessels, and your waistline. A 2022 study from Anhui Medical University found that adults who drank 250 grams or more of 100% fruit juice a day had a 49% higher risk of dying from heart disease compared with non-drinkers. The same study found that replacing whole fruit with juice raised mortality risk. That is the part many people never hear. Now, does that mean fruit is bad? Not at all. Not fruit, but fruit without its natural breaks. An orange is not the same as orange juice. An apple is not the same as apple juice. When you eat the whole fruit, you get chewing, fiber, slower absorption, and usually more fullness from fewer calories. Quick question. Have you ever had afternoon crashes, ankle swelling, or blood pressure numbers that suddenly run high? Comment yes or no below. Here is the better way. If you love juice, treat it like a small extra, not a health drink. Keep it to 4 ounces, not a huge glass. Drink it with a meal that includes protein, not by itself. Better yet, swap it for 1 whole fruit, 1 small apple, 1 orange, 1 cup of berries. That is a smarter trade for your heart. If you make smoothies at home, keep them balanced. Use 1 cup of unsweetened milk or unsweetened soy milk. Add half a cup of berries, half a banana, a handful of spinach, and 2 tablespoons of plain Greek yogurt or 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. Do not use juice as the base. Do not pour in honey because the internet told you it is natural. Natural sugar is still sugar when the amount gets too high. And please watch the bottle size. Some so-called healthy smoothies contain 2 or 3 servings. You think you drank 1 bottle. Your body just handled the sugar of 2 breakfasts. But number 3 is even sneakier because it sits in the dairy aisle wearing the word low fat. Number 3, low-fat flavored yogurt cups. Most people think low-fat yogurt is the safe choice. But actually, once manufacturers remove some fat, they often add sweetness and flavor to make it taste better. That means many small yogurt cups are packed with added sugar. This is where a lot of seniors get trapped. You choose the yogurt because you want calcium, which helps bones, and protein, which helps muscle. Good goal. Wrong version. Some flavored yogurts carry 12, 15, even 18 grams of added sugar in 1 cup. That is a lot for something you thought was helping your heart. A 2023 study from Oxford Population Health found that higher intake of free sugars was linked with higher heart disease and stroke risk. And flavored yogurts are one of the foods many people forget to count because they think of them as healthy by default. Here's the thing. Your body cares more about the total traffic on the road than the paint color of the car. If sugar keeps entering from breakfast, snacks, drinks, and healthy desserts, your blood vessels still feel that pressure. Blood sugar rises. Triglycerides can rise too. Triglycerides are a type of fat in your blood. High levels can increase heart risk. So what should you do instead? Choose plain Greek yogurt or plain regular yogurt. Look for at least 12 grams of protein per serving if you can. Start with 3/4 of a cup. Then add your own flavor. Half a cup of berries, 1 tablespoon of chopped nuts, a small spoon of ground flaxseed, maybe a shake of cinnamon. You stay in control. If plain yogurt tastes too sharp at first, mix half plain and half flavored for 1 week. Then move to mostly plain the next week. Your taste buds can change, they really can. After a while, overly sweet yogurt starts tasting fake. And check the label for added sugar, not just total sugar. Milk naturally contains some sugar. That is not the main problem. Added sugar is what you want to keep low. A good target is 5 grams of added sugar or less per serving. Less is even better. Before we go further, if this is making sense so far, hit that like button. It tells me you want more videos like this. Now we get to one of the big 3 from the title, and this one starts arguments. Number 2, plant-based burgers, meatless nuggets, and fake deli slices. Most people think plant-based automatically means heart-friendly. But actually, many processed plant-based meats are still ultra-processed foods. Some are loaded with sodium. Some use coconut oil, which can be high in saturated fat. Some are so heavily engineered that they are far from the beans and lentils they came from. Now, let me be fair here. Not all plant-based foods are bad. Not beans, but fake meat made to behave like fast food. That is the difference. A 2020 study from Stanford Medicine found that when people replaced red meat with certain plant-based meat alternatives, their LDL cholesterol, which people call bad cholesterol, dropped by about 10 milligrams per deciliter. They also lost about 2 pounds on average, and a risk marker called TMAO went down. So yes, compared with red meat, some plant-based meats can be a better swap. But here's the catch. A 2024 study involving Imperial College London found that ultra-processed plant-based foods were linked to a 7% higher risk of cardiovascular disease compared with less processed plant foods. In plain English, A black bean bowl is not the same thing as a fake sausage in a wrapper. That is why label reading matters so much. Look at saturated fat. Look at sodium. Look at the ingredient list. If a single patty gives you 400 to 600 milligrams of sodium and 5 to 8 grams of saturated fat, that is not a food to treat like a free pass. A smarter move is to build meals around whole plant proteins. Half a cup of beans, half a cup of lentils, a cup of edamame, baked tofu with very light seasoning. These foods come with fiber, which helps cholesterol, and they usually do not bring the same sodium load unless the sauce does. If you do buy a plant-based burger, aim for under 300 milligrams of sodium and under 2 grams of saturated fat if possible. Pair it with vegetables, not fries, and do not eat it every day just because the box says plant-based. But number one is the food that catches even very careful seniors. And if you have high blood pressure, this one can quietly work against you. Number one, healthy canned soups and frozen meals. This is the big one. Most people think these are safe because they say low fat, whole grain, lean, or heart smart. But actually, many canned soups and frozen meals are sodium bombs. And sodium is one of the fastest ways to push blood pressure in the wrong direction. Think of sodium like a sponge. It helps your body hold on to more fluid. More fluid means more pressure in the pipes, and your blood vessels are the pipes. After 60, when arteries may already be stiffer, that extra pressure can matter even more. A 2023 study from Northwestern Medicine Vanderbilt University Medical Center and the University of Alabama at Birmingham found that lowering sodium reduced systolic blood pressure by about 6 millimeters of mercury in just 1 week. And 72% of participants saw their blood pressure go down. That is powerful. So when you eat one canned soup with 800 or 900 milligrams of sodium, and then a frozen meal with another 700 or 800, you may have used up a huge part of your day before dinner even starts. And many people do not notice because the food does not always taste very salty. Look, I am not saying every can or every frozen tray is evil. I am saying they should never be automatic health choices just because they seem light or easy, especially not if you have hypertension, which means high blood pressure, heart failure, kidney problems, or swollen ankles. Here is how to handle it. First, read the sodium per serving and the servings per container. That second part matters. Some single bowls are really 2 servings. A good goal for soup is under 400 milligrams of sodium per serving. For a full frozen meal, aim for under 600 milligrams if you can. Lower is better. Second, add bulk with low-sodium foods. If you have canned soup, stretch it with a cup of frozen vegetables and half a cup of no-salt beans. That lowers the sodium per bite. If you use a frozen meal, pair it with a plain side salad or steamed vegetables instead of bread or salty crackers. Third, build a 10-minute backup meal at home. Keep eggs, plain oats, frozen vegetables, canned no-salt beans, brown rice cups with low sodium, and plain yogurt around. That way, convenience does not force you into hidden sodium. I'd love to hear your story. What made you click on this video today? Share in the comments. Now let's pump the brakes for a second. I'm not saying this to scare you, but you do need to be smart. If you have diabetes, kidney disease, heart failure, or you take medicines for blood pressure, fluid retention, or blood thinning, do not make giant diet changes overnight without checking in with your doctor or dietitian. For example, some people with kidney disease have to watch potassium, not just sodium. Potassium is a mineral that affects heartbeat and muscle function. Some people with heart failure have specific fluid and salt targets. And if you are losing weight without trying, feeling weak, or barely eating, the goal is not just cutting foods out. The goal is safe nutrition that you can maintain. Also, one food is rarely the whole story. I am not saying one yogurt cup or one bowl of soup will cause a heart attack. I am saying repeated choices create a pattern, and your heart lives inside that pattern. When should you call a doctor? If you notice chest pressure, shortness of breath, fast swelling in your legs or belly, dizziness, fainting, or blood pressure readings that stay high. Also call if you feel confused about labels, especially if you are taking several medications. A registered dietitian can be a huge help here. So you're convinced, but thinking, how do I actually do this? Start simple. Do not overhaul your kitchen in one day. Pick the easiest win first. If breakfast is your weak spot, replace flavored oatmeal with plain oats 3 days this week. If drinks are the problem, swap 1 bottle of juice for 1 whole fruit and water. If yogurt is your habit, buy 1 plain tub and dress it up yourself. If dinner is the danger zone, choose 1 lower sodium frozen meal and add extra vegetables. That is enough to begin. Budget matters too, right? Good news. The cheapest heart-friendly foods are often the least processed ones. Plain oats, eggs, beans, lentils, frozen vegetables, plain yogurt, apples, bananas, cabbage, brown rice. You do not need expensive powders, trendy snacks, or miracle drinks. Here's a simple daily routine. Breakfast, plain oats or plain yogurt with fruit and nuts. Lunch, soup only if the sodium is truly low, or a sandwich with lean protein and a side of fruit. Dinner, half your plate vegetables, one palm-sized protein, and one modest serving of whole grains or beans. Snack, fruit, a handful of nuts or plain yogurt. Simple wins. Look, there's a lot of noise out there. One box says low fat, another says high protein, another says plant-based, but your heart needs more than marketing words. It needs steady blood sugar, lower sodium, less added sugar, more real food. You don't need to overthink this. Start with just one change. Stop giving healthy labels a free pass. Turn the package around, check the sugar, check the sodium, check how processed it really is. Your body will tell you if it's working. Your blood pressure may improve. Your energy may feel steadier. You may notice less swelling, fewer crashes, and better control over your meals. If this helped you, hit that like button. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed because we post new health tips every single day. Stay healthy, stay strong,